Decision day coming up for Rhys Hoskins on Tuesday, and all indications are he's going to be returning to the Milwaukee Brewers. That's next here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good to have you along here on a Tuesday morning. We're on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. My name is Chuck Freimund, longtime sportscaster here in the state of Wisconsin, proud host of Locked On Brewers. Coming up on the show today, Tuesday is the day. Brewers either got to activate Rhys Hoskins or return him to the injured list. Looks like he's going to be playing, and just what his role is going to be, we'll talk about that. Return for Christian Yelich as well. He for sure returned on Monday night. A little bit of a surprise there. We'll talk about that. It was a tough night for the Brewers overall Monday night in Texas. And Tuesday, they're going to have to face a very tough pitcher once again. I see the Brewers are already underdogs going into Tuesday's matchup. All right, Rhys Hoskins. The Brewers, we've known this for a while now. He's been out since early July, but he's been eligible to play and eligible to come off the injured list. But the Major League Baseball rules say they have to activate him on Tuesday. They didn't do it on Monday. They bought themselves an extra day. Now, the indications that he's going to be activated were when reporters showed up to the game in Texas on Monday. Inside the Brewers locker room, he had a locker. That tells you right there he's going to be activated. So he's got a locker, likely traveled with the team, and he is going to be there. He'll be activated, and he's going to be a big part of the team too. He's not going to be starting. He's not going to be regaining his starting spot as of right now. All indications are Andrew Vaughn, rightfully so, should be the starting first baseman. And Rhys Hoskins, for the first time in his career, is going to be a guy coming off the bench until further notice. We know Hoskins, a one-trick pony, can only play first base and can't play the outfield. So what this does, though, it leaves the Brewers with 3 first basemen, which is an unusual situation to be. But Bowers is one of those guys who can play first base and he can play outfield. He can play multiple positions. He can play left field, he can play right field, and he can play some first base. He can't play center field, but he can play the 2 corner spots in the outfield. And Bowers, the Brewers, I think, made this decision tougher because of the way he played this past weekend. They've always liked the analytics the Brewers have with Bowers, but he was 3 for 41 going into the Pirates series this past weekend. And, there's a lot they liked about him this year and his analytics and his plate appearances and all that. Even though some things didn't work out, maybe some bad luck in there, that's the way the Brewers analyze things. But of course, in those 3 games against Pittsburgh, all 3 of those games, he had key hits in all 3 of those games, all 3 Brewer victories. He is 5 for his last 8 going into the Texas series. So he's going to weigh heavily on this, and he is going to be on the roster. The Brewers will not be DFAing him. He does not have a option to go down to AAA because there is no option. He's running out of options, but he is going to earn a spot on this team as of right now. So they're going to go with him. They're going to go, obviously, with Hoskins. Hoskins is going to be the starter. I should say Vaughn is going to be the starter at first base. Hoskins is going to be the guy off the bench. We'll see where he plays. Probably some DH, maybe at first base if they need him somehow. He's not great defensively over at first base. And we've seen Vaughn from time to time. Yeah, there's been some missteps, but he's also made some nice plays over at first base. I think Vaughn has been a little bit better defensively. And I think he's better defensively than Hoskins. A little bit better defensively than we thought, Andrew Vaughn. And he'll stay at the starter spot, rightfully so. Next year, we'll worry about next year when it comes. But you know what? Vaughn is going to be on this team next year. Hoskins, they will take the option out there, and he will not be on the team next year. So, and I think there's like a $4 million buyout. I think that's what's going to happen. There's no way Hoskins is coming back. Vaughn is going to be your starting first baseman unless something unforeseeable happens. Vaughn will be your guy at first base next year. And who knows what's going to happen with Bowers? We don't know. And Hoskins will not be back, but he's a nice veteran to have on this team, right? He's got some postseason experience, not only with the Brewers, but with the Phillies as well. Has played in some big games. So maybe Hoskins gives them some big at-bats here in the postseason, right? Unlike what Jesse Winker could do a couple of years ago against Arizona, maybe Hoskins can deliver. That's where we are with Hoskins, right? Who would you feel more comfortable playing at first base right now? Hoskins, a proven veteran, or Vaughn, who's just been really, really good? Yeah, he went for a little bit of a slump there for 2 weeks, but then he bounced back and had a kind of a nice weekend this weekend against Pittsburgh. He had the 4-hit game on Sunday with the 3 singles and the double. I would like Vaughn as my starting first baseman unless he gets hurt. Or that would be the only way, unless he went into a mammoth slump, which I don't see. But that's what's going to happen at first base. They're going to carry 3 first basemen, and of course Bauers being the guy who could also play in the outfield, and then obviously Hoskins can't play anywhere else but first base. Vaughn either, for that matter. Even though they last homestand with Vaughn, they gave him a little workout over at third base during batting practice. I haven't heard that they've done that since, but I know one of the games last week, home games, they tried him out at third base. Looked all right over there, but that was only batting practice. So that's what's going to happen. Tuesday, look for Hoskins to return off the injured list when everybody gets to the ballpark coming up on Tuesday. He's got a locker already at a big indicator right there. Christian Yelich did return. Christian returned, and I think maybe there was some thought with the Brewers IL him for about 10 games. He came back. He talked. He said, I knew there was going to be a lot of talk about me out there about this thing is going in the wrong direction with my back and all that. This is what he's telling us. I'm going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. I came back from the off day. They had played 19 games in 18 days. And there was an off day last Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. And he woke up that morning and his back was really stiff. Weird. On an off day, that's when his back was stiff after playing in all 19 of those games in 18 days. And he's played in 132 of 139 games, way more than any of us thought, right? I would have taken the under on that coming off the back surgery, but he's played a lot of those games, obviously at DH, but then a lot of those at bats, but he had off day soreness. And so he came in and told the training staff and all that, and they decided to shelf him for a couple of days. They were going to bring him back against Pittsburgh. They shelved him for a few more days. And surprise, he was batting 4th when the lineup came out on Monday afternoon. Ducked into Murphy's office. He told Murphy, hey, am I going to be in the lineup today? Murphy said, yeah, you're going to be in the lineup today. And that's all good. So Yelich is going to be in. Now, Murphy did say he is going to manage Yelich's innings for the rest of the season down the stretch. I mean, it appears that things are going in the right direction as far as them clinching the division, right? The Cubs lost again. No surprise there. And the Brewers stayed 6.5 out with another day ripped off the calendar. So there's no need to rush Yelich back or to play him every game. There's no urgency there. The Brewers will be fine. I'd be fine if they put him on the injured list and let him just heal that thing for this run that we got in the postseason, right? He returned on Monday night. He looked like the Christian Yelich that we've seen for most of the season. Hard hit outs. Hit one to the warning track. 3 of his at-bats, very loud contact. Great signs for Christian Yelich. But, again, they're going to manage his innings, and I'm fine with that. I think you'll see a lot of these guys. I think some of these guys, you'll see their innings managed over the next several weeks here until the postseason begins. Oh, one more thing about a roster move that's coming up on Tuesday. I told you about Hoskins. Who is going to be the guy who's left out the door? I got to believe it's going to be Sigler. Sigler is technically the 3rd string catcher on this team as well, right? I mean, you got Jansen backing up to Contreras. I don't know if they somehow option him down to AAA, Sigler. I don't know who the emergency 3rd string catcher is. Who knows if you'd need one, but it's always nice. I think that's the one thing that Sigler has had in his back pocket, that he's also the 3rd string catcher. I mean, defensively or third base, he's brutal at third base. He's been worse at the plate. Nice guy, but we're trying to win a postseason game. We're trying to get to the World Series, right? That's what it's all about. Trying to get to the World Series, put our best team out there possible. So that could be the case with Ziegler. All right, we come back. That was a tough night at the office for the Milwaukee Brewers in Texas on Monday night. Can't say that too often with this great team of ours. Yes, great team of ours. We'll get to that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Game time. If you want tickets for this weekend series against St. Louis, next week when the Angels are here. Angels are here for the only time this year, and it's late in the year. But anyway, if you want tickets, go to Game Time. And especially once you get inside that 2-hour window on Game Time, those ticket prices are dropping like a stone. Dropping like a stone. You'll always get a 100% authentic ticket every time you buy a ticket. That's the Game Time guarantee. Delivered on time at the best price. Plus, all fees are included. So the price you see is the price you pay. And what I like, you go to Game Time and you just click on the spot in the stadium you want to sit, or the arena, or the concert venue, or whatever, and you're going to get a view of where your seat is going to be. But you got to download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. You buy $70 worth of tickets, you'll pay $50. Terms apply. Again, use that promo code LOCKEDONMLB, Locked On MLB for $20 off. Swipe tack ticket. Go download the Game Time app today. Chuck Freimund here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. It's a part of the episode where I tell you, hey, for those of you who watch us already on YouTube, we're also on the strictly audio platforms. Wherever you download podcasts on the audio platforms out there, we're on all of them. Locked On Brewers on the audio platforms, Google, Spotify, there's a ton of them. Just search Locked On Brewers and always hit the subscribe button, and it'll drop an episode for you. Hit your alerts so you'll never miss an episode of Locked On Brewers. And if you're already downloading us on the audio platforms, go to our growing YouTube page, search Locked On Brewers on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, hit all the likes. Please support the podcast. All the content is free to you every day here on Locked On Brewers. Brewers open up the series in Texas. Scoreless tie into the fifth inning. Jose Quintana, 12 up, 12 down. And then there was a drop pop-up down to first base line as Andrew Vaughn was racing for it, and Terang overran it. It was just really odd. It was a tough ball to get, and Terang got a glove on it, couldn't hold on to it, and that was it. And at that point, I thought, oh boy, because when those things happen, usually a big inning opens up. And what happens? A couple of pitches later, guy walks and got a guy on first base, then a ground out, and then a walk. A double, put man at second and third, almost a home run, then a walk, and then came up the number 9 hitter, Michael Hellman for Texas, and he hit a screaming home run to clear the bases. Quintana said he threw one bad pitch, and that was it right there. Hellman also delivered another RBI base hit later in the game for the 5-0 capper right there. But the Brewers made some mistakes on the base paths. Guy tagged it up. I don't know what Churio was thinking there. Wild pitch. Runner tried advancing to third as well. Runner throwing out there. It just was a game of the Brewers making mistakes. And it's hard to get angry about the Brewers, right? When they do it, you're not happy to see that. And of course, Murphy's not happy because Murphy's out there to win every game. I know sometimes, we think that with some of the lineups he puts out there, is he trying to win this game? Yes. Murphy coaches these games like he is in college. He's not giving anything away. Not at all. So he probably wasn't happy after the game with the mistakes, because like a college coach, these coaches, and he's a coach at heart, he's a manager of the team, but at heart, he's a coach, right? He is a coach. He's been a coach his whole life. He's the manager, but at heart, he's a coach of these guys. Okay. And, he doesn't like to see the team beat itself, and made a couple of mistakes, and who knows, it could have changed the complex of the game. Bottom line is, they lose the game. Quintana goes 6 2/3. And I'll say the bright spot here, you didn't have to go to any of your high leverage guys out of the bullpen. The bright spot in losing and being down 4-0 in the 5th inning, Carlos Rodriguez ended up pitching an inning and a third, and they rest the bullpen after Quintana still pitched into the 7th inning, gave up that grand slam, and he stuck around for a little bit more and gave him some innings and further rest of that bullpen. That's good. That was the bright spot. That's the bright takeaway I take out of Monday night. Quintana getting some length out of him, and they lost a game. I know it's a shocker around here when the Brewers lose a game, but don't get too excited. Don't get ticked off. Don't get upset about or anything. It happens. Hey, we're not like Chicago where, they can't get out of their own way. Team Lifeless is back at it again. Lost in Atlanta 4-1, gave up a 3-run first inning. And, you get down a Craig Counsell team, as we've learned here, gets down 3-0. It's game, set, and match. And the Cubs got beat. So the Brewers now 6.5 games up on the lovable losers, Team Lifeless down in Chicago. Man, they just stink. The Cubs are just bad. They are. I don't know how they're 18 games over the 500 mark. I know a lot of that was built up early on. But the Cubs aren't even in the Brewers League. And I don't want to hear Cub fan who's watching this saying, well, we won the season series from you guys. No. Look at the Brewers' record against good teams. Look at the record against bad teams. Look at their overall record. There's a reason why the Brewers are 89-56. 89-56. Tried to get to that high water plateau of 35, which would have been a franchise record. They've tied the franchise record at 34. They've been there 3 times, and they just can't get to the 35 over 500 mark. But you know what? Doesn't matter to me if they win 100 games or whatever. I'm just looking to get everybody healthy, win the division title, and get that number 1 seed. That's most important to me. That is what's most important to me. One roster move the Brewers did make, Grant Anderson activated off the injured list, and Yoho got sent back to Nashville. Yoho's going to be part of this team in the future. I know we talked a lot about him in spring training because he was amazing in spring training, and the numbers were pretty good in Nashville as well. But Yoho's time is not here yet. It's not here yet at all. So, but his time will come. His time will come in a good way. All right, we come back. We're going to talk about Tuesday's matchup. A tough customer on the hill for the Texas Rangers. The Rangers are tough out. They really are. That's a decent baseball team down there who's trying to compete for a wild card spot. They're trying to get in. There's a lot of urgency there. Not that there isn't with the Milwaukee Brewers, but there is a lot on the line for the Rangers here in the last couple of weeks. We'll get to all that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers. Monarch Money here on Locked On Brewers. Monarch Money is going to tell you where you spend your money. We spend it too much on going out to eat. You know why? We knew that, but Monarch Money confirmed it. Said, hey, you guys, what are you doing spending all your money going out to dinner all the time? You should be eating more at home. Monarch Money. And then it's up to you to take action. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, investments. When you don't have that full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why Monarch Money comes in, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together. One clean, easy-to-use interface on top of your on your laptop or on your phone. Built for people with busy lives, organizing your finances. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the crack. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. You'll save even more money. MonarchMoney.com in your browser. Put that in, MonarchMoney.com. And you'll get half off your first year when you use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB at MonarchMoney.com. They will help you control your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Monarch Money does the heavy lifting for you. Take advantage. 50% off their first year. MonarchMoney.com. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Thanks for making us your first listen to every day here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. As always, here, my name is Chuck Freimund. Told you that at the top. Feel free to direct message me anytime you want. On Twitter, Chuck Freimund, Freimund. Said I was going to answer a couple of messages on the show today. I run out of time. I'll try to get to those tomorrow. But some of you guys have some questions, and a lot of times I'll get back to you, hopefully that same day. But if you want to direct message me on Twitter, hit me up, Chuck Freimund, Freimund. Facebook as well, Chuck Freimund. I'm there for you. Just as sure as this train is driving by my house here in the middle of the night, for whatever reason. It always seems to come at the wrong time. I got to close my window here. Anything you want to ask me, I'm always there. Always like reading your comments. Even if you want to sound off, even if you want to say something and get something off your chest regarding the Milwaukee Brewers, right? Maybe your wife doesn't want to hear it. Maybe your girlfriend doesn't want to hear it or whatever. Let me know. Something a lot of you guys do that. You got something angry. You're disgusted about something. Hey man, I'm your sounding board. We're a Brewers community right here. Feel free to hit me up. Yeah, I see the Brewers are a slight underdog already going into this game. Texas is minus 115. Oh, you know what? I love when the Brewers are an underdog. Just grab that money. They're facing Jack Leiter, and Jack Leiter's pretty good. Last time out, I mean, he's got 3 quality starts in a row. Last time out, Texas got beat 2-0 by Arizona. He got no run support. Quality start for him. He gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. Key part of the future for the Rangers. 9-8 on the season. An ERA in the 3s. He's made 25 starts. I looked at the projections of any Brewers hitters, and nobody has really faced the Brewers. Brewer hitters. The Leiter's never really faced any of these guys on the Brewer roster. Not that I've been able to dig up anyway. So he goes on the hill, the right-hander for the Texas Rangers. Meanwhile, it's Chad Patrick. We predicted this in yesterday's episode that the TBA was going to be Chad Patrick. They bring him up from Nashville. They've done this before. He's made 20 starts for this team this year so far. And I feel like he's made a lot of these starts this year as well, where he's been called up from Nashville when they want to give the starters an extra day. He's made some big starts. He is 3-8. He's had some good and bad in there as well. But Chad Patrick is going to make the start in Texas. Yeah, whether they're playing the Texas Rangers, a team that is fighting for a wild card spot, or they're facing a contender, or facing a team that's not very good. All these teams are going to be tough outs for the Milwaukee Brewers down the stretch. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Brewers went through them, outscored them 19-5 this past weekend. It's not going to be all that easy. The Brewers are made that easy because they're such a good baseball team, right? I mean, they are. They're such a good baseball team. Again, show me the weakness of the Milwaukee Brewers. Drop me a message. Tell me what you think. Is there a weakness on this team? And I'm not saying they're the 27 Yankees by any means, but there's very little weakness on this team, if any. Injuries, they overcome every injury. That's if there's one weakness, too many guys get hurt. Too many guys get hurt. One more thing. MLB.com did this poll naming who the rookie of the year in the National League should be. And of course, a Brewer isn't first or second. Although a Wisconsinite is first. Drake Baldwin, the catcher from the Braves, who's slumped off recently. They cite all these big numbers that Baldwin has got, and that's why he's the leading candidate in the National League. Cade Horton, who's had a really good month of August, he is second right now as far as in the running for National League Rookie of the Year. Third is Collins, and fourth is Durbin. Or a couple of weeks ago, I was telling you, well, how come Durbin's not getting mentioned for Rookie of the Year? Collins third, Durbin fourth. Now, here's what I say to this, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Brewer guy here, but BS to this. I don't care if Drake Baldwin is putting up some nice numbers, okay? I don't care if they cite these numbers. They were citing these numbers on MLB.com. I don't care. I look at not only numbers, but big moments. How many big moments and walk-offs has Collins had? And big moments just throughout the summer months. And Durbin as well. That's what counts. To me, Rookie of the Year is not only putting up some nice numbers, but how you're factoring into your team's success. Collins and Durbin have been a big part of this team's success. Or the Braves. Braves underachieved. Now, that's not an indictment on Baldwin, but the Braves were supposed to be contenders. They got off to a slow start this year, and they've been bad ever since, right? They beat the Cubs on Monday. But I mean, I think that's when we vote for this stuff, the MVPs and Rookie of the Year stuff, these voters do not look into big moments. Why? Because they don't see every Brewers game. We see these games. We see Collins in the big moments. And I can tell you he's been in a ton of big moments. I guarantee you, Collins and Durbin been in more big moments and delivered more times than Baldwin has this year. I guarantee you that. And I haven't seen all the Braves game, but I'm telling you, there's no doubt in my mind the number of times that Collins and Durbin have come up in big moments and delivered, especially Collins. Collins third, Durbin fourth. That's a joke in the poll for MLB.com. No disrespect to my guy, Adam McKelvey, but that was a poll, and he didn't conduct the poll. It was his employer's MLB.com. All right, we'll be back here late Tuesday night. Hopefully the Brewers bounce back. You know how the Brewers are. They don't stay down very long. You know, they lose a game, maybe two in a row, but they always come flying back the next night or day. My name is Chuck Freimund. Thanks for making us your first listen to every day. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day.